Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. We are group 4 and my name is Nurul Juliana binti Muhammad Mota. I would like to introduce my group mates Nurul Samsila binti Ismail and Peter Billy Margaret. Today we are here to discuss a coding about talk. Our presentation will cover the following section, which is introduction, coding, coding output, discussion and conclusion. Alright, let's start with the basics. Torque is essentially a measure of the rotational force applied to an object. The formula to calculate torque is T equals to R multiplied by F sin theta. Here, R is the radius, F is the force applied, and theta is the angle between the radius and the force. For our question, we have R equals to 5 meters and F equals to 10 newtons. We will calculate the torque for angle theta at 0, 10, 50, 70 and 90 degrees, and then plot a graph to visualize how torque changes with the angle. Next, we need to determine if the torque is minimum, maximum or moderate for our angle 20, 40, 80 degrees. Now, let's look deeper in the coding with my friend.
So now I'm going to explain the coding. So under the understanding torque formula, the torque T is given by the formula. T equal R C dot F, C dot sin theta, and where R is the radius 5 meters, F is the force of the 10 newtons, and the theta is the angle between the radius and the force. C program to determine torque characteristic. Now we're going to understand the C program that includes sequence, selection, repetitions, functions, and array methods to determine whether the torque is minimum, maximum, or moderate for the given angles 20, 40, and 80 degrees. So we're gonna start for the first one. C include studio.h and include math.h. So we're gonna define the PI. So it will come out the 3.1415925, and then after that the functions to calculate torque double R double F and double Q. So written R to F sin Q PI, so we're gonna have 180.0. And the next one is the functions to determine torque characteristic, constant characteristics, and torque characteristics, double torque. If torque 10, written minimums, else if torque 40, written maximums, else written moderate. So from this, for the main one, we're gonna have the radius is 5 in the meters, and force in newtons we're gonna have 10, and doubles for angles we're gonna have a 20, 40, and 80 angles in degrees. So size of angles and size of angles we're gonna have 0. And then the sequence methods calculate the print torque for each angles. It is of a double torque, calculate torque, R, radius, F, force, and angles. So from here we're gonna have the returns of 0. And the next one is the functions to determine torque characteristic, constant characteristics, and torque characteristics, double torque. If torque 10, written minimums, else if torque 40, written maximums, else written moderate. So from this, for the main one, we're gonna have the radius is 5 in the meters, and force in newtons we're gonna have 10, and doubles for angles we're gonna have a 20, 40, and 80 angles in degrees. So size of angles and size of angles we're gonna have 0. And then the sequence methods calculate the print torque for each angles. It is of a double torque, calculate torque, R, radius, F, force, and angles. So from here we're gonna have the returns of 0. So these are the explanations of the C program. So we're gonna know that the sequence methods the programs calculate the torque for each angles in the angles arrays and prints the results. So selection method, the torque characteristic functions uses if else statement to determine if the torque is minimum, maximum, or moderate. And for the repetitions method, the for loop iterates over the angles arrays to calculate and print the torque for each angle. And the function method, the calculate torque R and torque characteristic functions in encapsulate the logic for calculating torque and determining its characteristics. And for the array methods, the angles array stores the angles for which the torque is calculated.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nurul Nur Syamsila binti Ismail. For discussion, we use three fundamental programming constructs, which is function, repetition and selection. For function, we use it to calculate torque and classify torque. For repetition, we use loop to calculate torque and print the value of torque. The header files used is stdio.h and mat.h. For stdio.h, we use to interpret output and output. Lastly, for mat.h, we use for mat calculation. Next is graph. Here is the graph of torque versus angle. We classify if the value of torque is less than 5, it can be classified as minimum. If the value of torque is in the range of 5 to 40, it is moderate. But if the value of torque is more than 40, it is maximum. In conclusion, we can conclude that torque can be found by using equation T equals to Rf sin Q, where R is radius, F is force and Q is angle between radius and force.